Welcome to the 2009 polo season and our umpiring guide DVD. Umpiring is never going to be an exact science, but there are certain rules and conventions which will give the umpire a better chance of keeping the game safe and fair. Remember, we want both teams to feel that they won or lost on their own merits, not because of some dodgy umpiring decision. The aim of this DVD is to guide all of you umpires towards the ideal. Firstly, let's look at the qualities of a good umpire. First and foremost, you must know the rules. Only then can the right decisions be made on the field. Your credibility will undoubtedly be undermined if you make mistakes, so every umpire should read the rules, watch the HPA DVD, pass this basic test. By doing this, you will have a comprehensive knowledge of the field rules, that is to say, how the game is played, but also all those other aspects regarding handicaps, equipment for players and ponies, duration of play, and the rules governing the throw-in and, finally, penalties. The next quality required is concentration. It is easier to get distracted by some exciting play or some pretty girl in the crowd, but as sure as eggs are eggs, this is the exact moment when something significant occurs that needs your judgment. So don't get distracted, concentrate. Keep rehearsing the line of the ball so that you can establish which player or players have the right of way. Of course, the line of the ball and right of way are changing constantly, so you have got to be mobile in order to see these changes and adjust to the new line and right of way. Third, be even-handed. Teams will be very quick to pick up on any hint of bias. It is as much a perception as is fact, but you must remain aware of the problem. For example, if one team is awarded a penalty for a particular foul, then the same penalty should be given to the other team for a similar foul. Fourth, be clear, decisive and firm in delivering your judgment and in the way that you control the game. Don't be influenced by the antics of the players or be tempted to engage in dialogue with them. Remember, you are there to ensure that the game is played according to the rules, so manage the players properly because then you gain their respect and keep them on your side. It's down to the two teams to do battle on the field. Your role is simply to see safe and fair play, and apart from that, you should aim to keep as low a profile as circumstances allow. Next, let's talk about the other key official, the referee. Now, in normal circumstances, there will be two umpires on the field and one referee. The referee should be an experienced player positioned in an elevated seat away from any distractions and preferably in radio contact with both umpires. He needs to concentrate just as hard as the umpires as he will be called upon at any time to make a decision which could well have a bearing on the outcome of a match. If the umpires can't agree or require a decision from the referee, they should briefly outline the situation on the radio, and he should make his decision known either via radio or by using the recognised hand signals. Should the referee be in any doubt, he should rule no foul or summon the umpires across in order to consult. The referee should always touch base with the umpires at half-time, particularly if he notices dangerous or unsportsmanlike behaviour off the ball. Let's quickly cover preparation before the game. The umpires and referee will have been appointed before the game. Care should be taken to ensure that none of them are linked in any way to the two teams participating. The referee will report to the polo manager and take up his station in good time before the match is due to start. The umpires should report to the club official in charge of the pony lines at least 10 minutes before the start of the match. They should be dressed for polo, less knee pads, and unless they have their own, will be issued with an umpire shirt, a whistle and a pickup stick. If you are required to umpire regularly throughout the season, it's well worth having your own gear. They should check their allotted pony to ensure that it is presented as for polo, with serviceable tack and all four legs bandaged. Don't forget the bull bag that should be attached to the saddle. Tails can be left free. The pony should be experienced and fit to go the distance. Young or inexperienced ponies should not be offered. The umpires should then get the green light from the club polo manager that all the officials, goal judges, timekeeper, scorer, the paramedics and the horse ambulance are all in place. The horse ambulance should have a low-loading ramp for easy access, with screens that roll out from the sides. It should also have a suitable winch and a tarpaulin. The task of checking the welfare of ponies, use of studs, etc. is down to the club welfare officer. The umpires should ride onto the ground as a pair as the 5-minute bell sounds. On arrival at the centre of the ground, they should check the positions of the referee, the timekeeper, the scorer and the medics. In the event of a player being injured, the umpire should wave his pickup stick above his head to attract the attention of the medical staff, who should then drive promptly onto the ground. Before the match, the umpire should note the colour of shirts worn by the two teams, and if they consider there is insufficient contrast, they should order the team that is lowest in the draw to change. At this stage as well, they should ask the two team captains if they are happy with the score as posted in terms of handicap difference, because once the game starts, there is no redress. They should decide between themselves which end and sideline each will take. This diagram shows how the field is divided between the two umpires. Umpire A has the left back line and the top sideline. Umpire B has the right hand back line and bottom sideline, in practical terms. Basically, Umpire A will be the trail umpire for all knock-ins from the left back line and all penalties as play proceeds left to right. He'll be in charge of any throw-in from the top sideline. Umpire B will act as the parallel umpire, marking the 30 yards from the ball for the knock-ins and penalties. And it's all vice versa, going in the other direction, right to left. Umpire B is now the trail umpire for knock-ins from the right-hand back line and any penalties, and he's also in charge of all the throw-ins from the bottom sideline. Umpire A now reverts to the role as parallel umpire, marking the 30 yards from the ball for all knock-ins and penalties. So we're almost ready. The umpires call the two team captains forward for the toss to decide who will play in which direction from the first throw-in. As the teams gather in the centre of the ground, the umpires need to keep a sharp eye out for any illegal equipment such as broken or long whips or spurs or any illegal tack, bits or bandages on a pony. Finally, if the line-out is ordered and apart, the umpire can throw the ball in. Let's watch the umpires in action during play. Work as a team and not allow one to dominate the other, however inexperienced he or she may be. Remember what we said before. One umpire should be trailing the play in order to keep an eye on the line of the ball and the right of way, and the other one should be parallel to the play. They'll reverse these roles as play shifts in the opposite direction. It is vital they keep up with the play, because only then can they be certain if a player has fouled and have some chance of convincing him that he has done so. On seeing a foul, the umpire should blow immediately. Delay causes confusion and uncertainty. Of course, you should remember the advantage rule, which allows an umpire to overlook a foul, provided it is not dangerous, if the side fouled would have been disadvantaged were it blown. This was a dangerous foul by light blue, and whilst the goal was allowed, play restarted with a penalty 5B. Blow the whistle loudly to signal a foul or to stop play for any reason. A softly blown whistle indicates uncertainty, and in any case, the timekeeper needs to hear you in order to stop the clock accurately. When an umpire blows a whistle for a foul, he should make immediate eye contact with his colleague in order to seek agreement or otherwise. If otherwise, he should discuss the foul with his colleague, either on the radio or face-to-face, but most certainly out of earshot from the players, who should be discouraged from gathering around, as they are prone to do.
Was Chucker as well, I think.
That's Chucker.
No, we'll talk about it.
Chucker. What do you think?
Well, first I was giving Morley the benefit of the doubt with the first ride off because he was half-lengthing the guy just swinging in front. Then when he didn't...
If the two umpires are still in disagreement, they can agree to give a throw-in or decide to consult the referee via radio or by raising a hand.
James, did you see a foul, mate?
Same as me. That's what we could see from the side.
Okay.
The referee then has three options: calling the umpires across to discuss the incident, or use radios if available for the same purpose, or finally making a decision from his own observation, either foul or no foul. The referee should only give a foul if he has clearly seen the foul himself. There'll be many times when he'll be unsighted because of his position and distance from the play, and in this situation he should give no foul. The umpire should decide quickly on the penalty to be awarded. They may consult the referee if in doubt, but then announce in a loud, clear manner as follows.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, but it was just different speeds.
Yeah, okay.
For me, it was different speeds.
Okay. 3, same as before.
Yep. Penalty 3. Penalty 3.
Let's not forget that the decision must take into account the severity of the foul, the direction in which play was going, and the geographical position on the field, remembering also the need for consistency. Remember, when awarding a penalty, the team that has fouled is given the chance to regroup in defence with all 4 players facing the ball. Should there be a dispute by the side penalised, remember as an umpire you are only going to speak to the team captain and then only to clarify the decision. As umpires, you should be prepared to penalise and dispute excessive appealing or bad language by awarding a technical penalty. This normally takes the form of an upgrade of a penalty originally awarded, and in the most severe cases will lead to a penalty 10A, player off for the rest of the chukker, or a penalty 10B, player off for the rest of the match.
You agree, Tim?
I do now.
At the end of the match, the umpires should ride off together and dismount in an area away from the players and report to the referee. Let's just quickly focus on the throw-in. This diagram shows the positions of the umpires for the throw-in from the centre of the ground. Umpire A, throwing in, will leave a 5-yard gap between himself and the front of the lineup. Umpire B will stand in the centre of the field. The umpire throwing in must ensure that the 2 teams are lined up on an actual or imaginary tee, with the nearest player at least 5 yards away. Remember, there must be a distinct gap between the 2 teams in the line-out, and that gap must be maintained until the ball has left the umpire's hand. Do watch out for players anticipating your throw. If the ball has gone out of play over the sidelines, the umpire should stand inside the boards. The ball should be thrown in hard and underhand. After a goal has been scored, the umpires will allow the players a reasonable amount of time to reach the centre of the ground at the canter, but they will not wait for players changing ponies. Players must do this in their own time. If the umpires need to throw in for any other reason other than after a goal or when the ball goes out of play, they should stand where the ball was when the whistle was blown and throw in towards the nearest sideline or boards. Next, the hit-in. This diagram shows the positions of the 2 umpires for a hit-in. Umpire A will come in behind the hitter, acting as the trailing umpire. Umpire B is situated on the 30-yard line, ready to act as the parallel umpire as play progresses down the field. The ball should be placed by the goal judge in front of the back line and at least 4 yards from the goal post or the sideline. The striker may place the ball, but he must take no more than 5 seconds to do so. Here we see the parallel umpire on the 30-yard line and the trail umpire coming in behind the hitter. He will give both teams sufficient time to take up position and then call play. Remember, the attacking team should be no closer than the 30-yard line. If there is unnecessary delay in taking the hit in, a penalty 6, a safety 60, should be awarded. So let's talk penalties. There are 6 specific penalties, all of which involve a strike at the ball. The exceptions are the penalty 7, the throw-in, and the penalty 10, the sending off of a player. Rule 39 covers the correct taking of penalties. Only 1 player may place the ball and must take no longer than 5 seconds. Once play has been called, the striker must not circle or cause unnecessary delay. The penalty for abuse of this rule is a penalty 7, a throw-in. For 2009, for any penalty taken on or within the 60-yard line, with the exception of the penalty 2 when taken from the spot, the striker must have the intent to score a goal with his first hit. The penalty 1. A penalty 1 should only be given for a deliberate or dangerous foul in defence of goal. It should not be given as an upgrade for a technical foul. The team fouled shall be awarded a goal, with the umpire instructing the goal judge to signal it. Play should be restarted by the umpire throwing in 10 yards out from the centre of the goal towards the boards with his right hand nearest the back line. Ends are not changed. Let's look at a quick example of a foul that led to a penalty 1. This diagram shows the umpire positions for a line-up after a penalty 1. Umpire A has his right arm nearest the back line and will throw in towards the boards. Penalty 2, the 30-yarder. The umpires will offer the choice to the captain of the team fouled whether he wants to hit from the spot where the foul occurred or from the 30-yard line opposite the centre of the goal. Let us first deal with the option of the hit from the spot. The striker may hit or tap the ball as many times as he wishes, but his second strike and any thereafter may only be half shots. The defending team may defend. Umpire positions will see one with the striker and the other to the side to ensure the defenders remain 30 yards from the ball until it is struck. The goal judge should be on the extended line. Let's now look at the penalty 2 from the 30-yard line. The team taking the penalty must be behind the ball. The team defending must be behind the back line and at least 30 yards from the ball. They may not stand between the goalposts, and whilst previously they were allowed to try to defend by blocking the goal mouth once the ball had been struck, for 2009 it is all changed. Now they may not enter the field of play at all whilst the penalty is being taken. So for 2009, the 30-yarder is now a one-hit shot against an undefended goal. If the ball goes wide, it is a hit in as before for the defending team. If the ball fails to travel all the way to the goal, then play simply resumes with a penalty 5A, a hit from the spot to the defending team. Because of the change in the rules regarding the penalty 2, umpire positions have changed as well. One umpire should be behind the striker, as before, but the other umpire should be behind one of the goalposts, with the goal judge covering the other goalpost, so that we can confirm or otherwise that the penalty 2 was successfully converted. Remember, we do not have to watch out for defending players coming onto the field before the ball has been struck anymore, because they're no longer allowed to do so. The penalty 3, the 40-yarder. This is a free hit from the cross, 40 yards out from the centre of the goal of the team that is fouled. The option of a hit from the spot is not offered. Again, the team taking the penalty must be behind the ball, and like the penalty 2, the penalty 3 is a one-hit shot. The defenders must be behind the back line, but the key difference here is that they are allowed to defend the goal after the ball has been struck. The restriction of not coming out through the goal remains as before. Should a defending player cross the back line before the ball is hit, then the umpire will raise an arm and blow the whistle. If the penalty has or would have gone through the goal if it had not been stopped or deflected by a stick or pony, then the goal shall be awarded. If the penalty shot has missed or would have missed the goal, or was stopped legitimately by a player but another player on his team fouled, e.g. by coming out through the goal, then the umpire should blow the whistle and the penalty should be retaken. Umpire and goal judge positions remain as before for a penalty 3, one umpire behind the striker, one on the back line, and the goal judge central, at least 20 yards behind the goal. Penalty 4, the 60-yarder. This is a free hit at the ball from the 60-yard line opposite the goal of the team that has fouled. The striker must have the intent with one shot. If, in the opinion of the umpires, he did not display this intent, they will award a penalty 5A from the same spot to the defending team. The team taking the penalty may place themselves where they choose. The defenders must be behind the 30-yard line. As umpires, one of you should follow the striker. The other umpire should be behind a goalpost with the goal judge behind the other one, so you can be more objective when establishing if that huge lofted shot has in fact dissected the posts. Let's just show you that on the diagram. Umpire A is behind the striker, umpire B is behind the left-hand goalpost as we look at it, with the goal judge behind the right-hand goalpost. Penalty 5A, hit from the spot. This is a free hit at the ball from the spot where the foul took place, but at least 4 yards from the boards. Remember, a penalty 5A is never awarded to an attacking team within a defender's own 60-yard line. Instead, a penalty 4, 3 or 2, as appropriate, will be given. The team taking the penalty may place themselves where they like, with the defending team at least 30 yards from the ball and not behind it. One umpire should be with the striker, and the other umpire marks 30 yards from the ball. Let's just show that with a simple diagram. Umpire A is marking 30 yards from the ball. Umpire B is following up the striker. Penalty 5B, hit from the centre. This is a free hit from the centre of the ground. Umpire positions are the same as for a penalty 5A. One umpire marks 30 yards from the ball, the other follows up the striker. Penalty 6, the safety 60. When a defender hits the ball over his own back line directly off his stick or off his own pony, the attacking team is awarded a free hit at the ball on the 60-yard line opposite where the ball went out of play across the back line. For 2009, we're going to have 2 new markings on each 60-yard line. If the ball goes out of play across the back line more than 40 yards from the centre of the goal, the ball will be placed on a spot on the 60-yard line just 40 yards from the centre point. The rules for defenders and attackers remain the same as per the penalty 4. The umpire and goal judge behind the goal must remember to stand on the extended line from the ball to their respective goal post. Penalty 7, the throw-in. A penalty 7 is awarded for the following offences: the incorrect taking of a penalty, such as delay, circling or teeing up; abuse of the one-tap rule. Remember, the one-tap rule applies for the whole team, and in 2009 for a tap in any direction. The throw-in will take place as we've previously described, from the spot where the incident occurred. Penalty 10, player sent off. If the umpires award a penalty 10A, a player is sent off for a full chukker, or for the rest of the chukker in progress, in addition to any other penalty. If the umpires award a penalty 10B, a player is sent off for the rest of the match. Penalties 10A and B may be given for any breach of the rules, but usually for continued abuse of the umpires or dangerous play. The side to which the sent-off player belonged shall continue the match with just 3 players only, and the player sent off must return to the pony lines. The umpires must agree between themselves that a player be sent off, and if not in agreement, the referee must be asked to decide. A report form must be completed by the umpires after the match. Technical penalties. Rule 38. The umpires may award a technical penalty for any unsportsmanlike behaviour, such as abuse, arguing with an official, foul or abusive language, or appealing verbally or with a stick. If a penalty has already been awarded, which is often the case, then an upgrade to a more severe penalty is entirely appropriate. The one exception is when the initial penalty is a penalty 2. The umpire should raise his hand. If the team taking the penalty score a penalty 2, they should restart the game with a penalty 5B, a free hit at the ball from the centre of the ground. If they have missed the penalty 2, they'll be allowed to take the penalty again. Report forms. Rule 6. Umpires are required to fill in a report form for the following offences: if a player is sent off on a penalty 10A or B, if a player is shown a yellow flag, for excessive misuse of the stick, for dangerous play, if a pony is seen to be blind in an eye or showing vice, if a team is seen not to be trying, illegal spurs or whip, and more usually, report forms are filled in for abuse of the umpires by the players. The forms, which are held by polo managers, will be filled in by the umpires, signed by them and the referee immediately after the game. They are then distributed to the relevant addressees. Remember, report forms may also be submitted by team captains. So let's conclude. This DVD does not claim to cover everything that the umpire should know before cantering onto the polo ground, but it is hoped that it will act as a useful guide to achieve a better performance. Remember, there is no substitute for learning the rules and studying the annexes to the rules, which explain and give greater detail where necessary. Every player should take the rules and umpire test, which is in 2 parts. Part A covers the rules and must be taken and passed by every player in order to achieve a -2 handicap. Passing Part B, provided the player has passed Part A of course, the player will achieve a CP umpire grade. I hope what we've shown you has helped to at least blow away a few cobwebs. Good luck this season. Players, be polite and play clean. Umpires, be firm, decisive and fair.